Frisco, Texas.
What's up, guys? We're here at the Star in Frisco, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. PT, practice stuff, whatever. It's a badass place. Tonight, flow grappling who's number one, Couch versus Gordon, and Dante versus Mika. So earlier we made a post on Facebook and Instagram for the fans of Dante and Jacob to ask some questions. So Spash is going to take you guys through some questions, and the boys are going to answer them up. So,
All right. Couch. What's your favorite way to submit your opponent, and prediction on how you're finishing Gordon?
Probably scissor lock, wrist lock. Right, just pinching the hip. Heel hook for sure. Planning on like.
What's a scissor lock?
You don't know a scissor? Well, I mean, that might be just a brown belt thing. I don't know. Gordon, my game plan for Gordon is just to grab his head as hard as I can and squeeze it off.
All right. I got one more. Are you competing at the West Coast Trials?
Let's see.
At what weight class?
88 kilograms, 194.
Who's the number one seed?
Some handsome fellow. I don't know his name.
Must be Dante.
all right, I got one for Dante here from Facebook. Ted Allen Gates. Dante, do you have to get custom tailored shirts and rash guards to fit your neck?
It's actually funny. So rash guards, I have to usually like rip them a little bit because I'm not that big. But for dress shirts, if it gets any bigger, then I have to get a tailor-made dress shirt. So usually my dress shirts, I gotta go get them custom. Yeah. Luckily, I don't go anywhere that nice, so I don't have to get too many custom shirts.
Tailored shirts.
Couch, what are Couch's thoughts on Mountain Dew Major Melon?
Never heard of it.
It's mid, man. It's like 4 out of 10. Nothing compares to Code Red or the original. Live Wire is also very nice. Orange.
You did have 3
How about
Mountain
Baja?
Dews
How about Baja
empty.
Blast though from Taco Bell?
That's not bad.
I like that.
That's an 8 out of 10. That's
But
some
sometimes
gas.
they never have it. Like they just don't have it there. So
I
it's
really
like hard
like
to
The
even
Taco
bake
Bell
on that.
Mount Vernon just puts. I don't even think they put carbonation in their machine because it's all syrup.
That's a problem.
Couch, you got another one on here. Is Chewbacca really Sasquatch? Hashtag walkout. From RT. What? That's what this guy said. Walkout. It's trending.
That's not what
actually.
I'm laughing at. Is Chewbacca really Sasquatch? No. No, I think Sasquatch is a entity of its own.
So it says, if you could pick one finish, Dante, to finish Meekin, what would the finish be?
I mean, perfect row would be head and arm choke or a rear naked choke. I think that'd be like the most dominating finish possible.
Alright, Couch. How big are your balls?
Is that a real question?
Yeah, swear to God, it's the last one on the page.
Who's this question from? Jacob Barnum.
It says Mia Khalifa. No, Ibrahim Baraka. He has one post. Goofy Goobers, he says. They're skateboarding.
Well, together. Right,
Says
you
he
mean,
about-
how? So you said balls, like both of them? It's about like the size of a buttermilk biscuit. Just yay round. About, you know.
Okay, it's children out here, so let's just skip that one. Any other ones, Heath?
Yeah, it says, Couch, how do you prepare mentally? I think it's a great matchup personally, but there's always so much hype around Gordon. I think that puts more pressure on him than you. I'm curious to how you're going to handle the naysayers.
Not thinking about Gordon's accolades and all of his accomplishments too much. It's another person in front of me for another event that I'm a part of. So just keeping him on the same pedestal as everyone else when I actually get out there.
Pretty good. Dante, do you wipe front to back or back to front?
Front to back usually, or a shower if it's messy.
All right. Dante, do you have any favorite books?
Oh yeah, my favorite book is Old Man and the Sea.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's a real question by Ernest Hemingway. It's my favorite book.
Do you have
Wanna
any
know
books?
The main reason why I read it is because it's only 100 fucking pages.
Really? Oh yeah, that's my favorite too. It's not my favorite.
But yeah, it's a great book. Yeah, that's my
Couch,
favorite.
what's your favorite book?
Redfish, Bluefish by Dr. Seuss.
It actually says it here. Literally, look. Dominic. Miela, do you like green eggs and ham?
No way.
Yes.
Did you look at it already?
No.
You guys are on the same level. This is a one for you, Dante. It says, do you practice jiu-jitsu? Well, he actually just says Jew. Do you practice jiu-jitsu and do strength training in the same day? How do you train strength and jiu-jitsu without one interfering with the other so that you can evolve in both trainings? I feel so sore after a strength training that I can't even train jiu-jitsu properly the next day.
Yeah, so I do train strength conditioning and jiu-jitsu in the same day 4 times a week. Right now, my volume would be probably the highest it's been since, ever, because I've worked my way up to it. Just like anything, the more you do it, the more that you can increase your pain threshold, the more you can increase your lactic acid threshold, things like that. So when you're starting out doing it, you might start out at 2 or 3 days a week of strength training, and then jiu-jitsu however many days you're going to do it. Because jiu-jitsu is always number one, you know what I mean? You want your strength training to be able to complement or supplement your jiu-jitsu training. So the best way I would say is to first turn down the days to 2 or 3 days rather than 4 or 5, and then kind of start to change your volume around. So instead of doing 4 and 5 sets on certain exercises or sets of 10, 12, 15, 20, you might have to change that to, 3 sets of 8 to 10 or something like that, The more that you do something, the better you're going to get at it, the easier it's going to become, and the more you're going to be able to do it. So when I started working out, I wasn't able to do the program and the training regimen that I'm on right now. So it took me some time to get used to it. So if you're too sore, you have to be able to turn down the volume, mitigate that soreness, and it has to come from adjusting your training volume with strength training, because jiu-jitsu is always number one.
For both you guys, what does the week of competition practices look like compared to normal training? So like the week before, especially the last 2 or 3 days before big matches.
Just like drilling, a lot of game planning, a lot of film study, and just like going over, what to do in certain positions. Not a lot of like hard training. All that's been done already, within 2 or 3 days of the competition.
For me, it's usually a kind of by feel. I don't do any strength training. I pretty much do none of it, like lifting or anything like that before big matches or tournaments. I try and do it little to none. Just things like for activation, if it's kind of like any kind of physical training. I try and take as much emphasis on sleep and nutrition as I can. And then the last 2 to 3 days or day before the competition is really about feel, like how I feel. If I'm feeling kind of groggy, maybe I'll kind of like boost myself up to get a little bit more of a sweat or get moving a little bit. But if things are feeling right and I didn't have to cut a whole lot of weight, then just simple moving around. Today was just walking and stretching out, little naps here and there. So yeah, it kind of comes down to feel in the last couple of days.
Jacob, how do you think that Dante is going to finish the match? What do you think the outcome of the match is going to be?
Dante by submission, either rear naked choke or guillotine.
And the same question for Dante.
Jacob Couch by headbutt or 50-50 heel hook.
That's the inside scoop right there. I got one more from a fella named Didi. He's a boy from Guam. He's tripped out in a bunch of AP stuff, so you're gonna like him. It's a classic question. Couch, how much Mountain Dew do you drink before a match? Hammer, 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 hammer.
Well, like,
You wanna see the hammers, or
Yes.
not lying?
oh, you're not. Like Dante said, it's all about feel. So sometimes I come in at 2 liters. Sometimes I come in at 1.5 liters. Sometimes I just do a 20 ounce. So it's really based on how my body feels after travel. And
So if you feel
how I'm
good,
coming
you
into the
drink more.
competition. Yes, just to get the fuel sufficient.
Makes sense. One more. Are you pulling or are you trying to wrestle with Gordon? Super excited to watch you.
I'm gonna try to tap Gordon.
Okay. And it also says, how did you guys prep for the size difference? I know it doesn't mean too much at lower levels, but obviously this is at the cream of the crop level. From Jason.
Well, Gordon was a late replacement for his brother Nicky, who got hurt. So my match was really supposed to be at 85. Gordon came in late, so nothing really changed as far as the preparation for the match. Just the same kind of deal, training hard, game planning for what's next.
And this one just says, Dante and Mika gonna be dope. Should have been main event.
You got any? So it's tonight, 8 p.m.
This is event start, right?
Yeah. What's the prelims on?
Prelims on
YouTube and Facebook
free.
for free.
Is that what
Check
time the
them out.
prelim starts at 8?
Yeah, I think everything's at 8 p.m.
Free
and then
banging fights.
after the free ones, the main cards on Flow Grappling. Sponsors.
Albino and Preto, Pedigo Submission Fighter.
Perry Athletics, Monkey Tape, Armbar Soap,
Dante, we're getting paid, man.
West Side Barbell.
I got 2 sponsors. You got 16 of them. What is that?
You're sponsored by Westside Barbell?
Yeah.
He died last night, right?
Yeah, we
Louis
took
Simmons passed away, man. It's pretty tragic, but yeah. So a little bit goes out to Louis here if we get the dubs, you know what I mean? And thanks to my team back home, Adamus Jiu-Jitsu in Toledo and Perrysburg, and then my team, all my friends here, my coach Heath Pedigo and Pedigo Submission Fighting.
Let's go.
Just for you.